Day 2 at Sierra Space 2019, today we're covering sensors, weapon systems and ships.
This is a newest generation radar for the U.S. Navy. This is the SPY-6 V1. It's going on the Flight 3 destroyers starting in 2020. This is the first time we brought it out in the public to show folks what the Navy's buying for the next generation radars. So this particular variant will go on the Flight 3 destroyers that are coming out now, and then there's other variants that will go on other ships. SPY-6 uses RMAs, radar module assemblies. They're modular building blocks. Each one of these RMAs is actually a radar. This face is 37 RMAs, which makes up the SPY-6 V1 variant, and there's 4 faces that go on the destroyers. This is the back of the RMA that we talked about, and these are the trims, transmit receive modules. There's 24 trims that go in each RMA, 888 trims for each array face for the SPY-6 radars. These trims use gallium nitride technology, which gives us higher power so we can see further, smaller objects further off. The AMDR is in production today. We have ships 5 through 7 were just awarded to us, so we have 7 ships that are shipsets that are being manufactured today for delivery. The ESR program, the Enterprise Air Surveillance Radar program, which is also known as SPY-6 V2, we just delivered a radar down to Wallops Island for its testing. It's maintained full power now, and now it's ready for flight tests this summer. That will be in production this fall, winter time frame. And then we also have a SPY-6 V4, which is the backfic program to go on the Flight 2A destroyers, and we're working with the Navy right now to build the technical data package for that program.
Today we announced that we are under an agreement with the Marine Corps to introduce Naval Strike Missile into their force structure. It's a really big deal for us. You know, a year ago when we were at this show, we weren't quite sure where we were with NSM. The Navy hadn't announced the OTH weapon system. Since then, a lot has happened. You know, we've been selected as an OTH weapon system for the Navy. We're now integrating NSM into the force structure of the Marine Corps. We had a successful firing in July of last year for the Army. And the State Department recently announced NSM is approved for export to an international customer for rotary wing. So when you add all that up, we have a lot of momentum going. There's also a lot of interest in our international markets. There's a lot of anti-ship missile competitions going on, both land and ship-based, that we're really excited about.
As you know, the Navy is looking at capabilities that would improve or provide a precision capability for their 5-inch guns, and also possibly for 155 millimeter guns. One of the things that Northrop Grumman has done previously is our precision guidance kit for artillery, primarily for the U.S. Army and for the Marine Corps. And the precision guidance kit allows for the replacing of a standard fuse on a 155 millimeter projectile, and that adds what we call a precision guidance kit or guidance fuse, where the fuse and the guidance capability are all in one package. And so you can transform a conventional type projectile into a precision type projectile just by changing the fuse. So for a 5-inch, we have done some initial work where we've looked at how we could apply PGK to see if it would be flight worthy. And so we've done that through modeling and simulation, and we've done some initial flight testing. And what we've found is that it is possible at this point, at least initially, that the 5-inch round would be able to fly with a PGK fuse. Now beyond that, we would probably have to make a number of changes to adapt it to work correctly with a 5-inch round. So beyond that, some of the technology from PGK that we're looking at transferring into what we call an all-up round or a new round. And so what we would do is we would take the PGK technology of the guidance portion of PGK, remove the canards, and move the guidance to the rear of the round, or the aft. And what we have found is by having aft guidance, we have much more maneuverability of the round. And so we'd be able to achieve even greater accuracy by doing that all-up new round, which we call PGK aft. So being able to use the investment dollars that have been made in developing PGK, improving it, but then adding that to an all-new round, which would have even greater capability.
This represents our lethality and survivability options for the littoral combat ship. So we've been working with the Navy. We have a Phase 1 program that integrates the Naval Strike Missile as well as advanced EW and advanced soft kill weapon system. And in this model, what we're doing is showing some of the other potential opportunities that we have to include the vertical launching system. You can see the placement in the NSM and where the EW goes. So the flexibility of the ship with the LCS's modularity, about 40% of the LCS is empty, and that allows us to integrate new capabilities very quickly into the ship.
Can you guide us through into a little more details, the weapon systems, the new weapon systems you fitted on this model?
Sure. So starting forward, we have the Naval Strike Missile. There is eight cells up there for that. As you move aft on the ship, you can see right there we have the CWIP Block 2 Lima, we call it. That is the light version. So it takes the Block 2 technology that we have and it scales it for an LCS. We actually demonstrated that capability on the Freedom. We installed it and we ran through the ranges down on the West Coast to validate that performance. In here we also have the NOLCA system. So that's an advanced soft kill weapon system. It replaces our SR BOC or chaff. And then in this model, we show that the ability to do VLS. So with our VLS system, not only can we do an 8-cell module, but we have a single-cell launcher capability, so it's self-contained. We could do that in any quantity from 1 all the way up to the 8. And that allows us more flexibility to install it on a ship and maintain what we need from a mission package perspective. You can see it still has mission package integration. You know, depending on how the Navy would want to do it, you could put the gun center line, put the longbow Hellfire launcher off to port or starboard, so there's different options based on that modularity that we have. You can see this has CRAM, so starting with LCS 17 and follow, we actually moved from the TRS 3D radar to the TRS 4D. That's a solid state version with some enhanced capability, and then we integrate the CRAM system, which allows us to bring not only the CWIS radar into it, but also the EOIR and the ES system that comes with that for the RAM performance. So this was representative of taking kind of our more mature LCSs on the back end of the block buy and then the capability that we can integrate into them.
Joe, when do you expect the US Navy to make a decision, move forward with some of the things you are proposing here?
So right now, big focus is first get the Naval Strike Missile integrated on the ship. And we're also already under contract to work Phase 1, which is, again, the integration of the EW system, the advanced soft kill weapon system. We're also looking at an upgrade to the gun weapon system. So those activities are actually underway now. But the target kind of cycle is we'll get through this engineering over the next few months, and then we'll start looking at the availabilities of the ships. And then when we can align those availabilities up to get to the deployers and to ensure we also have the training and the logistics in place so we can support the ships while they're deployed. Currently, we're getting ready for our concept design review with the Navy that we're going to do here in the middle of the month. We've been reviewing the draft RFP and preparing for the RFP to come out here in the early summer. And then we're also looking at our capabilities associated with the GFE that we're providing and being the combat systems provider for it. So the frigate weapon system based off of our Combats 21 out of the Common Source Library, and then of course with Mark 41 VLS, our CWIP system on there, as well as acoustic processing for the ASW mission of the ship is a focus area for us as well. So as we wait for the RFP, we're kind of going through that landscape and preparing for the DD&C of the FFGX.
We are partnered with Bath Iron Works, so we are working together with them. We are finalizing our engineering studies, which basically is to take the reference design, which is the F100 design in the Australian version, the AWD as we call it, and that has been tailored to the US Navy requirements. Of course, the radar, all the top side has changed because the radar is radar of FMS and a lot of equipment. So from that point of view, we have done a lot of work there. And then there are many other aspects of the design, of specific requirements that the US Navy, we have to tailor the design, but fortunately, the basic design has minimum change, and that has allowed us to keep a very solid platform, which is well proven, and the changes are not very relevant in that respect. Now, in accordance to the US Navy process, we will be expecting an RFP somewhere in July. We don't have a date yet, and there will be about 3 or 4 months to respond to that. Of course, we will elaborate the proposal, but Fireworks is a prime contractor and the prime for the project. So we will, of course, support and cooperate with them. And there is an expectation that next year, mid-next year, the US Navy will finally decide and award the contract. So that is the roadmap. We are excited, and of course with expectations that we can get the confidence.